bring the country together under the umbrella of One Kenya Alliance so that we can have a common objective.
Tuko tayari kabisa kuleta pumzi mpya. Wakenya wapumue hewa safi mpya. Hewa ambayo itakuwa na ukabila.
The leaders fronting the union say drumbeats have just begun ahead of the 2022 showdown. The unveiling of the One Kenya Alliance tactfully folding up the National Super Alliance that has been at the center of the storm, with the new alliance expressing its disappointment with former partner ODM for procedurally ousting Kakamega Senator Cleophas Malala from the Senate Deputy Minority Leader.
We have the NASA coalition, which is legally in existence, and which our friends continue sometimes to misinterpret deliberately, as in the case of Senator Malala.
This alliance strongly condemns the ousting of Senator Cleophas Malala of Kakamega as the deputy minority leader in the Senate by a section of members without any consultation.
The new One Kenya Alliance says it has the Jubilee Party in the fold, making it a formidable force to face off with opponents. It has since withdrawn all its candidates in the Juja, Garissa and Bonchari by-elections in favor of the Jubilee Party. The joint One Kenya Alliance candidate in Bonchari will face off with ODM candidate Pavel Oimeke, United Democratic Alliance candidate Teresa Oro, who is also the late MP's widow, as well as the National Reconstruction Alliance NRA, that also unveiled their candidates today.
We've got candidates in different by-elections, which we've all agreed that as one alliance, we are going to pull them out.
The ODM party brushed off the union, terming it a fading breed of tribal politicians. ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna, in a statement, added that the ODM party had a record of building coalitions and propping up younger and energetic leaders. We are working on one, end quote. It remains unclear on what will be ODM's next move as the clock ticks fast towards the next general election. Stephen Leto, Citizen TV.
All right, in the midst of a lockdown and possible disruption of the parliamentary calendar, politics continues, and that's the One Kenya Alliance, or the Sacred Alliance. Chris Wamalwa, your party is part of it, and I don't know what the strategy is as you approach the 2022 general elections.
Yes, it is true. I'm a member of One Kenya Alliance. As you know, Ford Kenya has experience in coalitions. We've been part of, we were part of CORD, where ODM, with ODM and Wiper. Then there was NASA, which was Ford Kenya, ODM, Wiper, and ANC. We have experience. You know, when it comes to coalitions, Sam,
what have you learned?
It is a give and take. You can't come and have everything. It must be a win-win. But our brothers, ODM, with due respect to SG who is here, they are very gluttonous. They want to take everything. And I want to say this.
But they're not part of One Kenya.
No.
So what is new? What is new this time?
Where we're coming from. We came from CORD, we were together. We shared the political party's fund at that particular time. But when it came to NASA, actually, they refused to give us our share. So when it comes to a coalition, this is just advice to those like Kanu is coming on board. When you come into a coalition, it's like a marriage. There must be some level of tolerance. There must be a give and take. There must be a win-win. You know, when you come to Western region, for instance, the presidential votes, Raila Odinga beat the Jubilee side. Why? Because the kingpins from that particular area, this is in disrespect of ANC and Ford Kenya, were part and parcel of this.
Right.
Look at what happened in Matungu. ODM, which has been bragging that it has the support in Western region, is no longer there. And I want to tell you, come 2022, I don't think ODM will get any seat. If Sifuna wants to see parliament, he can only come through Ford Kenya or ANC, unless he goes to another region.
But he's the Secretary General of ODM.
No, it's not. The Matungu is, if anything, to go by. The results of Matungu are shown. Come to Kabuchai. Sifuna and I, we come from the same region, and we are good friends. And I pray, if we can have people like Sifuna in parliament, I think parliament can do so much. But the house he has been using.
So this time round, what is the difference in strategy under One Kenya Alliance?
Under One Kenya Alliance, why we called it sacred? Initially, we coined the word sacred. Sacred was in the sense of respect and honesty. Whatever you've discussed, you've agreed, you've put on paper, you should fulfill it. Don't come and turn around. You know, it's a gentleman's agreement. So when I go back to our NASA, whereby up to now, when you go to the register of political parties.
I'm asking you the difference in strategy for One Kenya Alliance. Who is your leader?
That is our strategy. We can't say it now. We'll say it at the right time. All of them, whoever will come, will be among the equals. And he must agree that he's going to respect the partners. That is our strategy. And by the way, One Kenya Alliance, the door is not closed. Even Raila Odinga can come, but on conditions. That he's not the one automatically to go and score. Another person can score.
But he'll still have the chance.
No.
If he
yes, if he comes and he behaves, conditions must be there. We are still, the door has not been closed. The like-minded people are allowed to join Okoa Kenya on condition. You don't come and say, I only have one bullet, it must be me. No, you must come and you must play ball that you are first among the equals.
Okay, all right, Dr. Chris. And SG Sifuna, you describe some of these politicians fading breed of politicians. So exactly are you referring to?
You know, Sam, it is quite interesting listening to my brother, Chris Omalwa. I think the biggest problem for them has been, they've been lying to themselves that when they enter into these coalitions, that they come as equal partners. Even in that so-called One Kenya Alliance, Ford Kenya looks at KANU as a junior partner, and he knows it. And there is a reason, you know. It is founded in fact, like Ford Kenya have more members of parliament than the KANU. It is something that they know. So that has been the problem for them. The most interesting thing is when he says, ODM is not going to win any seats in Western Kenya. Even if you just take the example of Matungu, in 2017, because we were saddled with this so-called coalition, NASA, ODM received only 4,000 votes in Matungu. And the explanation is very simple. And if you have spoken to members of ODM, they will tell you that in Western Kenya, ODM was cannibalized by our so-called partners, because they were arguing that because they're supporting the ODM presidential candidate, that these lower seats should essentially be left to them. And that is the singular reason why ODM lost all those seats in Western Kenya. In number two, when you go to the coalition agreement, we had tried to convince them to conduct joint nominations with us, the way that Jubilee did. They refused. And in fact, what was happening is that because most politicians, including Sifuna here now, would not agree to go to party primaries. If you can avoid it, a politician will avoid party primaries. So what our partners would do is that they would poach candidates from ODM, give them direct tickets, and you will find the same people pontificating on rooftops how ODM is undemocratic because it doesn't conduct party primaries. So we moved from 4,000 votes in 2017, and because we have shed dead weight, in a by-election, we come to 11,000 votes. This is a party that is on ascendance.
Dead weight, that's too harsh.
It is too, no, there's only one way to address these people. And unfortunately, as ODM SG, this is the tone that these people understand. So I am very confident, Chris Omalwa, that with this new arrangement, you know, by the way, as ODM, we are not pontificating like them that, oh, the door is still open. We are very clear in our minds that we are done with these tribal politicians who want to carve enclaves for themselves. They say, oh, in Kakamega, I am the boss here. Then, just a minute, because I allowed him
Dr. Chris, you'll have a response.
I allowed him to speak. Yeah? So he should allow me to
clarify.
Yes.
Does that mean that ODM will not form any alliance with Wiper, KANU?
In fact, this is not the SG of the party speaking. It is the membership of the party speaking. You remember there was a task force that I put in place that was chaired by Catherine Muma. And they went around the country, and in specific areas, especially in Western Kenya, the supporters of ODM were very clear that Sifuna, we would rather go to the polls alone than to pretend that we are with friends who, in the course of the journey, stab you in the back. So I can say categorically here that we are done with these characters. We are over. It's over. You know, we are running out of ways to express this. I don't know how best we can say it or by deed. And the most interesting thing, just let me say this. The most interesting thing is that you hear these leaders speak and they say this coalition, referring to One Kenya Alliance, strongly condemns the removal of Malala, which is a benefit from another coalition called NASA. It is hypocrisy that you want to eat from a house that you have destroyed. That is something that is untenable. You know, even when they talk about... Just a minute. Just a minute.
Dr. Chris.
Dr. Chris, you don't claim benefits of a marriage that you have left. And, you know, I likened them. They're behaving like Lot's wife. When you leave, please leave. Don't keep looking behind you and turn into pillars of salt.
As you said that you're looking for like-minded, new blood, who are these people that you'll form alliances with? I mean,
there is this perception in the country that we only have like 10 or 5 political leaders. You'll be very surprised that an alliance with Sabina Chege is more beneficial than one with Chris Wamalwa.
So who are you targeting?
So you should not discount the fact that Sabina Chege can probably add more value.
Who are you targeting?
I mean, that's why we are saying we are looking for freshness. We are looking for alliances. And this we were told by our members alone. They gave us specific criteria when you are looking for a coalition partner. Number one, they should add value to ODM and not look to piggyback on ODM. Number two, they should open... Let me finish. They should open opportunities for the party to grow in areas where traditionally it hasn't been. So with that specific criteria, you can see what I'm talking about.
All right. I'll get to you, Honorable Sabina Chege. But first, Caleb Kositanyi, there is that talk or understanding that William Ruto, during his interview sometime last week, may have signaled that the readiness to work with Raila Odinga. Is it a possibility? And if that's the case, what would have changed from the perspective of UDA and like-minded politicians?
Well, I think I listened to William Ruto well on that interview, and he said that he can work with Raila Odinga, and he has worked with him before. But one thing that I need to put very clear here is that Raila Odinga is our competitor. We, as William Ruto, will be a presidential candidate. The only other formidable presidential candidate that I see, and who is not running a tribal party, somebody who is running a national outlook party, is Raila Odinga in ODM. So I don't think that if there's going to be a working together formula, it is not going to be based on a presidential election or having a coalition, but just working together to ensure that we sanitize the politics of this country. Coming back to the One Kenya Alliance, or yes, that is what it is called. Sam, I have a big problem when people who are running tribal parties, whereby the chairman of the party is from the one community, the Secretary General is from the same community, the Treasurer is from the same community. These are the 3 or the 4 parties that have come together to form One Kenya.
Well, we appear to have lost the signal of Caleb Kositanyi there. Caleb, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, go ahead. You're making your point.
Yes. Yeah, so I was saying these political parties that are being run by tribal kingpins, and you've heard Wamalwa glorifying kingpinship here. That is something that we moved away from when we dissolved URP, and President Uhuru Kenyatta dissolved TNA, and we got another 13 political parties to dissolve and form the Jubilee Coalition. What we call on the One Kenya Alliance, dissolve your tribal political parties, form one political alliance, name your presidential candidate, and then we can move ahead. And I think we need actually to encourage that politicians to stop being glorifying themselves just because they are running tribal parties. We need to move out of that. Okay. We need people to be able to field candidates across the country without necessarily saying, you know, when you hear a political party saying, we have decided to withdraw candidates in this by-election in order to support Party X. That is those are people who have no feet on the ground, no feet to stand on the ground.
Okay, all right. Honorable Kositanyi and Honorable Sabina Chege, you've been sitting quiet and listening. But One Kenya Alliance says that they are working with the Jubilee Party. Some voices that are in the BBI, specifically ODM, would say that we are still together with the Jubilee Party of the side of Uhuru Kenyatta. I don't know which Jubilee Party you belong to or which side of Jubilee Party you belong to.
Multiple partners.
So what is the thinking within the Jubilee Party, and where do you lie in terms of the future thinking of politics?
You know, I think we need more women in these political parties so that we can bring soberness, because I think we have seen political deceit. And all I want to tell the gentleman this morning who spoke is that never dismiss anyone in politics. Absolutely. Never dismiss anyone. And I think what we have seen in politics and why we have failed as a nation And every political year when we're going for elections, we have new coalitions that are full of lies. People, quote each other, promising heaven. Then once you get there, it's normally, I'll say, if it's a relationship, it's always a use and dump. So once I manage to get where I was going, then I'll dump you and now look for another partner. And I think that has been the biggest problem. I like it when politicians say village political party or tribe or whatever, but our politics in Kenya are local. I have to first convince my Murang'a people to vote for me, then I meet with Sifuna and I say, hey, I have support. And I think the problem that we have had with I think from 2002 going on, after we left the KANU and now became multi-party, is that people have been working on the numbers, where somebody says, I am coming with my community and these are the numbers, and not the ideas, not the goals, not the objectives. And that's why you see most of the times when even political parties get into power, then the power play starts. You promised, you didn't honor. You had said you take 5 years, whether you win or lose, then I'll also take 5 years. And so some people feel that you used me to get to that position, and then after that, then you are dumping me because I got you there. And I think the best thing that we need to do as a nation first is to make sure that we have political parties that are based on the ideas. And I'd ask if it's being called. It is possible. And that is why we have seen the US. We have seen, I will not why I said I can't dismiss the US. We have seen Joe Biden. How old is he? He is an old man. He's been there. He has seen it all. And I've also seen with politics, I think the older a person is experienced in politics, might be the better they become. But the thing is, look at Tanzania. They had a smooth transition. I listened to the story of the president now, when she said, she just went and sat down, the party met and they agreed on the candidate. She didn't even go and say, I am fronting myself. But what do we see in Kenya? We see people who becomes friends because they want to get to the next level. They want to cross the bridge, but once they cross that bridge, they burn it. And I think that has been the biggest undoing in this country. If we are to move forward, if we actually to make decisions that will help Kenyans, let's have ideas. Let's have, whether it's the Kenya Alliance, whether it's the new alliances that will come in, let us agree. I am joining Sifuna because I believe this is what our party wants to do to this country. And I'll not join Wamalo, or I'll join one alliance because I actually believe this is the ideas, or this is what they would want to do. So let us come up with not just manifestos on paper, because that's what we do.
Right.
And the political alliances, whether they are marriages or whether we want to call them relationships, whatever they are, let us not just do them for the sake of elections. And it is sad, but by now, that I might not say the political party I will vote for, and it's in the next year. Because you are still waiting, which coalition, which alliances.
All right, we have 3 minutes. I don't know what we do with this because there's still so much to cover. But Honorable Wamalo, as you respond, as you respond, we know that there's that likely disruption of the parliamentary calendar. The BBI-sponsored Constitution Amendment Bill is yet to get clearance from Parliament because the Joint Committee of the Senate and the National Assembly are yet to write a report and submit it to the 2 houses. So what happens to the BBI calendar? Because all of you, despite belonging to different alliances now, you appear to support the BBI process.
Thank you. I want to respond to that quickly. And before I do that, with due respect to Honorable Sifuna, he said ODM want to get fresh people, fresh ideas. Raila Odinga, the team leader, is he fresh himself? What freshness is Raila Odinga bring on board that we've not heard about this? Secondly, to Kostani, when he talks of village parties, the wheelbarrow came to Kapchai bragging with all the millions. We floored them. So politics is local, and watch this space. You can't be able to come and underestimate other people. They came with all their billions. Wherever they came from, we don't want to know. But we floored them.
Okay.
So the issue of looking at other parties, you think you have, all.
The future
I want to tell you, pride goes before fall. Now, back to BBI. On the issue of the BBI, we do support BBI. BBI, as we speak at the moment, it is actually in Parliament. And I want to say this. When you read Article 257 of the Constitution, it is very clear that Parliament is a conveyor belt. There's nothing that Parliament can be able to do. We can't be able to amend. We either reject or we accept. Even if we do that, this bill is on the way to State House, whereby the President will ask IBC to conduct a referendum. Why we cannot amend this bill as the way it is in Parliament? It's not our bill. It's through the popular initiative. It is the Wananchi who gave this proposal. So the calendar is not going to be affected. Wherever we are now, we are talking about the 90 days. The joint committee of JLAC is supposed to bring a report. And the speaker was very clear within 10 days. So on that very day, they must table the report. If you don't table the report for one reason or another, we'll still be able to debate the bill.
What if by that time
we'll move forward?
Disrupted the parliamentary calendar, which you have a sitting to do so today?
The president has no powers, by the way.
Okay.
The executive has no powers to suspend parliament sittings.
Okay.
The sittings can only be determined over motion. And we go to the House today, we are the ones going to decide. And that's why there's independency of parliament and the independence of the executive.
Okay.
The president just requested to consider.
All right, Dr. Chris.
So
SG Sifuna.
It does not guarantee that we are going
Dr.
to
Chris Omalo,
agree with the
out
president.
of time, but SG Sifuna, we've seen the reduced steam in the BBI process, and secondly, tomorrow is 31st of March 2021, and you know what that means, that ODM is the deadline for people interested in running for presidency to present their applications. Is this still in force, or will it be extended? Have you received the name of Raila Odinga?
Yeah, I will answer you. I know what you want. But let me start by saying that when they say politics is local, it doesn't mean that your political party should be localized to one locality. Ford Kenya should be local in Turkana.
We're in Coast.
Ford, just a minute.
Just a moment. Let me respond.
This is the indiscipline that led us not to give you money.
That money
Sam,
will go to court.
you must be local in Turkana. You must be local in Narok. Even the local issues in Narok must find expression through your political party. You know, you are haranguing Mheshimiwa Caleb Kositani, but Caleb knows that the only place you can put up a fight is Kabuchai. If you just step outside or you cross the Kuywa River, there is nothing that you're going to be able to deal with Caleb Kositani. So that's not what politics is local means. Number two, even when it comes to the BBI, you see, sometimes legislators such as Chris Omalo, and I know he wants to be governor, I don't know. I pray for the people of Trans Nzoia, because as a legislator, yours is not just to say, oh, we are just a conveyor and that we are going to throw up our hands and pass. Process is important, Wamalwa. People want to hear your thoughts on some of the ideas. You can even use that opportunity to forewarn the country on some of the proposals that they have given themselves. You can even educate the sponsors of the bill from your robust debate. We want you to engage with the document. You are not a conveyor. Even though they say that the role of parliament is ceremonial, it is not ceremonial, it is procedural. Okay. So we need to hear your thoughts on some of these things. Lastly, you have said that the BBI has reduced in steam. I don't know what parameters you're using to measure the steam, because I know that once the matter is before parliament, it is a parliamentary process. You allow the process to go on. You don't expect us to hold rallies inside parliament, just to show you that the steam has not reduced. Finally, on the issue of deadline, the deadline for application for presidential candidates is tomorrow. So you ask me tomorrow, because I know that there will be a communication that we will issue tomorrow on all the applications that we have received, and you can be sure, because ODM is going to have a presidential candidate. This is not going to be the first election where we don't have a candidate. And we want to encourage these village parties to run a presidential candidate for once.
Leave them alone.
Not just threatening every year.
Do you have a fresh presidential candidate just right
now? You know, when he talks about freshness, when I was in class 3 when Kalonzo Musyoka went into parliament, he was the one who was talking about freshness.
Talk about fresh ODM.
I was really laughing.
Do me a favor and respond to this question. Just a moment. Has Raila Odinga presented his name for consideration?
We will issue a communique tomorrow, because we expect that all the top talent in the party, including Raila Odinga, will present himself for the party's consideration as flag bearer.
All right, we'll wait for that. Caleb Kositani, we are out of time, but there's a letter circulating and confirmed by the Registrar of Political Parties that one Isaac Mwaura has been removed from the role as a member of the Jubilee Party. And then now that means that he ceases being a member of the political party, and that should mean that he sort of ceases being a senator. The senator obviously saying that there is an ongoing process that is at the political parties disputes tribunal. So what happens?
Well, I think I've seen the letter, and I think a friend sent it to me, and I think Jubilee, as usual, is being mischievous. Senator Isaac Mwaura has not exhausted all the appeal channels that are available to him, and I think there is a process that is ongoing today, and I believe with fairness being served, Honorable Mwaura will continue being the nominated senator until such a time when he has exhausted all his appeals channels.
Okay, and Honorable Sabina, in closing, so this action is sort of appearing to come to a conclusion. Of course, the senators affected have leeway to really appeal the decision, but what are your thoughts about this?
I'll do a wait and see, because well,
you have used and dumped.
No, I'll say choices and consequences. That's one thing. I never nominated Mwaura, so there's nothing of use and dump. I think he has benefited. And again, it was not just Mwaura. I think there were several others. So I don't know why the letter is only for Mwaura, or I've not seen the other people. So that's why I said I'll do a wait and see. Okay. Of course, everybody has a chance to actually go and appeal. And I'm sure the people affected also have a chance to actually appear also before the political party and give their case again. So I don't think the doors are closed, and I wish
it's not the end of the road.
Yeah. But I just want, as we conclude, just to say this is a Holy Week, and I hope that we can be able to do things differently.
All right.
And I'll ask the SG here. It's good to be honest and share what you have. But my appeal is for gender is you receive the nominations for presidency. Make sure that you get a deputy president to be.
The applications are open, Mheshimiwa. We can't go and fish a woman.
All right. Not fishing. I'm saying. As we saw with Tanzania, once you have this many letters coming in, I hope there's a lady, and if there is none, as an SG, I'll appeal to you that make sure that you will have a lady.
Form a coalition with you.
Okay. All right.
But finally, about what the issue about BBI, let me just say something about BBI.
Yes, in 10
that
seconds.
Yes, there was a process and a popular initiative, and we are not saying we are rubber stamping, but we'll give our views in Parliament, and it's going to be maybe a wish. Maybe the things would have wished. And I think that's what my colleagues in JLAC just need to understand.
Okay.
That we are free to express ourselves, but there's nothing much we will do about this document, because the MCA passed this document through a public participation. I don't even know why we had to do another public participation in Parliament. And so what we can do is do the wish of the people. And hopefully then we also educate our people, so as they go to voting or to the referendum, they will do it out of information.
All right, thank you so much, Honorable Sabina Chege. Again, that letter from the Registrar of Political Parties saying that based on the decision of the party, as contained in the above documents, some 5 documents, the Political Parties Act, the office has removed the name of Honorable Isaac Mwaura Maigwa from the Jubilee Party membership register, pending the adoption and ratification of the same by the National Executive Committee in accordance with Article 13.1.12 as read together with Article 13.4 of the Jubilee Party Constitution. So that decision is expected at the National Executive Committee. That's our time. Thank you so much, Dr. Chris Omalwa. Edwin Sifuna, SG of ODM, Honorable Sabina Chege from Murang'a County, and Caleb Kositanyi from Soi Constituency. Thank you all for your time. We will do this again some other time. Up next is Willis Raburu with Matters Social. Stay tuned.